Hello folks, my name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World. How you guys doing? So let's start with the biggest story that's out there in the news right now. Both legal trouble for Donald Trump in the form of Michael Cohen and Paul Manafort's trials have kind of gone south for him. I don't want to get too much into the details because I don't have it written out before me, but basically Paul Manafort got convicted on I think 8 counts of fraud and tax evasion, and Michael Cohen pleaded guilty. Right, and basically named Trump as a co-conspirator. And so I've avoided doing a video about, this entire fiasco, Donald Trump's Russia scandal and the trials of these two guys, because the story evolves every single day. Pretty much every day there's another facet to the story, something else comes out. So you do a video and an hour later it's like, outdated, right? So I'm kind of waiting to see where it all goes. And I think the biggest takeaway that we can get from this is that, the Trump organization and the Trump campaign were a criminal organization since the beginning, right? The one thing that I thought Donald Trump might be able to do is to hire competent people. I knew that coming in, he was a slime ball. I knew he was a racist. I knew that he was basically going to bend over backwards to destroy things like environmental regulations, for example, worker protections, and that kind of thing. But at least I thought he'd hire people that knew what they were doing. Being able to run a business, even if you bankrupt 6 businesses like Trump's, you go through a lot of job interviews at least, and I thought that he would at least be able to hire someone who was somewhere competent down the line. Not so. Turns out that the entire thing was just a big criminal enterprise from day one, and now that criminal enterprise is running the presidency. So bad news for Donald Trump, good news for the country, and hopefully this puts him one step closer to being impeached. Sorry if you're hearing noise and shit back here, it's my cats running around. Anyway, let's move on to some other more mundane stories. A couple weeks ago, somebody went up to Betsy DeVos' $40 million yacht and cut the tow line on it and set it adrift. And that yacht got $10,000 worth of damage. It's like, that's awesome. There you go. That's a creative way. Okay. I don't want to, encourage people to go out and vandalize things and stuff like that. But I think that shit's hilarious. It didn't even really hurt Betsy DeVos anyway, because she has 10 other yachts. And anybody who can afford a $40 million yacht in the first place is they're gonna blink twice at $10,000 worth of damage. It's more of a prank, really. It's the equivalent of lighting a bag of dog shit on fire and putting it on her porch, or throwing eggs at her car or something. It's like a minor inconvenience for this woman. Isn't that funny? It's like something that would fuck everybody else up. Like if I got hit with a $10,000 fine or bill right now, I'd be fucked up. I'd be struggling to pay it. But somebody like her, just in an instant, right? She probably didn't even think twice when she cut the check. What the fuck is somebody like that doing working as the Secretary of Education? What could she possibly gain? I don't know. Anyway, that's a subject for another video, but I just thought the shit was funny. Moving on, Jeff Sessions has created a religious liberty task force, right? So they're going to go around and they're going to find instances where Christians in this country are being, oppressed and discriminated against. Well, good luck, Jeff Sessions, you're not going to find any, right? And what it's really there to do is to go out and defend people who want to discriminate and they want to hide behind their religion to do it. The guy that wouldn't bake the cake for the gay dude comes to mind. That's what it's really about, right? I don't know, man. Why does shit like this only happen when fucking Republicans are in charge? All right. Let's say Barack Obama made an anti-discrimination task force that went out to find and defend people from, examples of white on black discrimination. What do you think would have happened back in, during the Obama administration? What do you think would have happened? There would have been fucking pandemonium. It would have been on every channel for days on end, right? Jeff Sessions does this during the the Trump years, it's like in the news for 5 seconds. Part of that is because Trump is such a goddamn screw up that he just dominates the news cycles with his continuous fucking cycle of complete fuck ups. But the other part of that is that the media goes soft on the right wing in this country. You know, they do. They go soft on the right wing, and so now there's like an entire branch of government that's going to go out and help Christians discriminate against people. And it's like we're not even talking about it anymore because we moved on to the next story. That's just, you know, the same kind of shit happened during the Bush years, just in a lot, you know, a much more slower pace. Okay, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, moving on some more. Another big story. Omarosa claims to have video of Trump using the N-word. So she basically was a contestant on the Celebrity Apprentice that somehow got a job in the Trump administration, right, as, you know, director of communications for this or that, who knows. You know, I think they hired her because she's black, so they wanted her to go, like, get black people on Trump's side. Yeah, good luck with that shit. That worked really well. And apparently she got fired, right, because she didn't actually do anything. You know, it was the General Kelly, right, Trump's fucking, you know, babysitter, is the one that fired her because she didn't do shit. You know, they had some reporters follow her around one day, and she basically spent the entire day just like doing personal errands, right, shopping and shit like that on the public dime, and then that looked bad in the news and she got fired, right? And so anyway, now she has this tell-all book, and it turns out that she recorded a lot of her interactions with people, and she claims to have heard an audio recording of Trump using the N-word. And I only hope the shit's true. I hope it's true. I hope she releases it right during the fucking election and the Republicans end up getting God stomped. Please let that happen, God. Please. Okay. I mean, if that happens, God, then I'll be convinced that you exist. And I swear to God, I'll be a nicer person. Anyway, I just think it's funny. It's like, you know, when these people get pushed into a corner, they just cannibalize each other, right? Omarosa is not a good person. She's basically a fucking scam artist as far as I'm concerned. But, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I guess, in this case. Okay, what else we got here? Trump Jr. shared an obviously fake infographic on Instagram showing that Trump had a phony 50% of approval rating. And I guess it was like this picture where like it was at an angle like this, and it had the 50% posted over Trump's 40% approval rating, but that wasn't at the angle, so it was like really obvious. But I think, you know, so that's the first thing. It's like it's an obviously fake ass picture and he just tweets it because he's an idiot. The second thing is like, since when is a 50% approval rating good? Okay, half the people like you in the country. Okay, that means that there's 150 million people in the country that don't like you. Right. When was that positive? I mean, shit, 50% on a test is a fail. Okay? Like, when did it become okay for a president to, like, be liked by only half of the fucking people in the country? That shit's funny. Let's see. Parents berate and threaten a 12-year-old transgender kid for using the wrong bathroom. So this happened in Oklahoma, which was in the Panhandle near Texas. And apparently there was a kid that, you know, was 12 and is kind of going through those weird feelings that 12-year-olds have, and, you know, has come out as transgender. And her parents are, like, you know, happy and cool with it. And apparently she used the wrong bathroom at the school, and that caused some people to be fucking dicks and threaten a 12-year-old. Unfucking believable. And apparently they had to cancel classes because of threats that this girl was getting. I don't understand this shit. I don't understand. See, because the same people that did this to this girl, right, this kid, a child, a 12-year-old child, you know, 12 years old is like, what, 6th grade? Right, 7th grade. The people that threatened this kid and, you know, threatened her so much that they had to shut down the school for fear of a fucking psychopath showing up with a shotgun. Let's not forget, this is like Texas and Oklahoma here. These people are armed, right? You would talk to any of those people and they would say that they're God-fearing Christians. And that the number one rule of Christianity is to treat others the way that you would be treated. The golden rule. Do unto others how they would do unto you. But if you were to say, berate one of their children and threaten one of their children to the point where classes were shut down for any reason, they would probably go nuts and want to fucking blow you away. Probably threaten to blow you away with their guns that, you know, because of the Second Amendment, blah, 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 right? I don't understand that shit. I don't understand how being, the more religious you are, the more hypocritical you become. How does that shit happen, right? I don't know. That's probably a subject for another, we could probably make an entire video about how Christians and conservatives specifically are hypocritical. See, I don't think it's only the religious thing. I don't think it's just Christians, right, that are hypocritical. I don't think that just being a believer in God turns you into a bad person. I think that being a conservative has a predilection to bring bad people into that political arena. That's what I think. I think that bad people have a predilection to being conservative and thus being more religious. Right? I don't think those things cause you to be a bad person. I think you're a bad person. You see an ideology that you identify with, and along with that comes Christianity. It's a culture problem. The conservative culture is fucked up in this country. You know, how many fucking problems do we have in this country that are the result of conservative policies? Debt, the deficit, environmental problems, race relations, fucking, you know, poverty. I mean, come on. Anyway. All right. Move on. Let's move on before I go crazy here. Melissa Howard drops out of the Florida State House race. Okay. So if you haven't heard about this, there was somebody running for the House in Florida, a GOP, you know, running for the Republican seat in Florida, who posed for a photo with a college degree from a certain college like this. She was like sitting like this and she had a big college degree. Right. Turns out she never actually went to that college. Turns out that she was lying about having a degree. And when that was exposed, when that came out and it was in the news, she basically tried to say it was a joke and that she wasn't withdrawing from the race. Because, of course, she's not withdrawing from the fucking race, because that would mean she had integrity, and fuck that shit. She's a Republican. Right? So, you know, humiliation is what finally got her to drop out of the race. I mean, I just think that shit's fucking funny as hell. You know, it's like, I don't know. Why is it that so many scumbags and scam artists run as Republicans? Why is that? I mean, I'm not trying to say that Democrats are like, you know, free too. I mean, we have our share of scumbags also. You know, Anthony Weiner comes to mind. But, you know, you're not seeing people who are like, you know, you don't get somebody like Elizabeth Warren posting with a fake master's degree. Right? This shit doesn't seem to fucking happen. It just seems like the more likely you are to be a Republican, you know, if you're a Republican, you're more likely to be a fucking scam artist. Now, how does that happen? Somebody who's a Republican, please tell me, why do so many kooks and freaks and weirdos and assholes and hypocrites get attracted to your party? How does that happen? Let's see. Klan leader who fired into the crowd at the Unite the Right rally last year got 4 years in jail. Good. Fuck him. Right? They should have put his ass in jail for 8 years. But apparently they couldn't do that because what he really went to jail for was possessing the firearm and firing it off within city limits when you're not allowed to have that, and not attempted murder. Right, not for firing it into a crowd and potentially killing people. So that's what people are missing in this particular story. This guy fired a gun into a crowd, right? There were hundreds of people in that park. He could have killed somebody, all right? So now they're saying, okay, here's the argument that you're going to get from the alt-right in this story, right? That there was a guy with a homemade blowtorch who was threatening people. And there was a dude, a black dude, and he had a spray can and a lighter, and he was doing this, right? And if you watch the video, there's some stairs here, and then there's a bunch of fucking Nazis with poles and flags and fucking sticks and truncheons and shit. And he was spraying this fire to keep those people from beating the shit out of him, right? So, you know, the argument that you'll get from the Nazis is that, well, this guy pulled out his gun and shot a warning shot to stop this dude with his homemade flamethrower from burning all these people alive. Yeah, well, that's kind of hard to buy when you watch the video. It's more like that guy is like fending those other people off, but whatever, you know. But the state, fortunately, didn't buy his self-defense charge. Right, because he was saying, I was defending myself. Well, no, you weren't defending yourself, because the dude you were shooting at was way over there. And they didn't buy his warning shot charge, because he fucking fired it at the guy and could have killed him. But here's the thing that they didn't do. They should have, you know, reckless endangerment. Basically, you fire a gun into where there's 100 people around, that bullet could go anywhere. And I'm not, like, convinced that this fucking dude has the training to, like, actually hit the shit that he's aiming at. Right? He missed this time. He shot it at the guy. He didn't shoot it into a pile of dirt or at the ground or any shit like that. He shot at the guy. He was gonna fucking kill that dude. Right? Kill the guy with a flamethrower. He missed. Then he realized that he fucked up because he knew it immediately that he shouldn't have done that, because he immediately puts his gun away and just books out of there. Right? Tried to put as much distance between him and the place where it happened as possible. So he knew that he was wrong. He knew that he was like, fuck, I fucking blew this shit. Right? That's the thing here. That bullet could have ricocheted off of something. It could have fucking killed somebody. It could have killed a child. It could have killed one of the white people there. I mean, that's why you don't fire guns into crowds. And 4 years is like light for that shit. That guy should be getting 10 years minimum. But whatever. You know, at least he's going to jail for it. You know, there you go. And the real irony is that now that he's a felon, he's not allowed to own a gun. And he's also not allowed to vote. Right. Whoops. Oh well, you know. I personally don't think those laws are fair, but I bet you a lot of conservatives do. Funny how, like, you know, the shit works against you when the shoe's on the other foot, isn't it? Anyway, one last thing here before we call this a day. Let's see. The Amazing Atheist and Cult of Dusty have been deplatformed on Twitter. Both of them. And apparently TJ, the Amazing Atheist, TJ Kirk, has also been demonetized on YouTube. That's fucked up. Now, these are two guys that I actually follow a lot, and I'm sad to see this happen to them, but to be to be consistent, I have to say that this is YouTube and Twitter's decision. They have the choice. They have the, you know, it's their platform. And if I'm going to say that it's okay to deplatform Alex Jones, I have to say it's okay to deplatform these guys. YouTube and Twitter get to decide the content that they want on their channel. Now, I think it's fucked up that this happened to them. Right. I think because basically TJ got, you know, gigged for an obvious joke. He made a joke about Sarah Jung. Right. I mean, I made a video about her too. He basically just made a joke about her. He wasn't picking on her. He wasn't, like, you know, trolling her. And he got reported, and that's what got him kicked off Twitter. Right. And now the same shit happened to him on YouTube. I'm not sure why he was demonetized on YouTube, but it's probably something related. Who knows? I have to look that up. Cult of Dusty, on the other hand, that guy got targeted. Right. Cult of Dusty, if you haven't, if you ever watch his videos, basically the alt-right targets this guy. They flag everything that he does. And that's what got him that's what basically got him, like, you know, deplatformed, because he's a target, he's like a political target. Right? So in both cases, it's fucked up. You know, in both cases. I mean, personally, I don't think that should happen to you unless you're like directly, you know, fucking harassing somebody. If you just make a video about someone, or if you make a comment about someone and it's not harassing them, you shouldn't be deplatformed. I mean, that's basically what, I mean, that's how YouTube kind of got their audience, you know. In the beginning, it was just all people making videos about each other. You know, make a video about Ray Comfort, make a video about Venom Fang X, right? Make a video about Thunderfoot, whatever. And people giving their opinions, and then it was a discussion. And it's like YouTube doesn't want that discussion anymore. They want you to pay for YouTube Red or whatever and buy TV shows on YouTube and all that. Fuck that. I'm not doing that. YouTube is for watching people argue and funny cat videos. That's what it's for. It's not for watching Game of Thrones. That's what fucking HBO is for, you know, or Netflix or whatever. Fuck that. So I'm never personally ever going to pay for YouTube. If it goes to a paid model, then I'll just fucking, I don't know. I'll just watch the free shit until it's not good anymore. Right? So, I don't know. I think it's fucked up. I'm pissed at YouTube for that. You know? I'm pissed that they did it, not that they have the ability to do it. I don't think it's fair that it happened to these guys, because these guys aren't spreading hate speech. They weren't fucking harassing anybody. They weren't, you know, they weren't basically abusing the platform, right? I mean, shit, TJ's been on YouTube since day one. Guy has like fucking 1,500 videos. I mean, right. He basically helped build this fucking platform. He was one of the guys there that attracted a lot of people to watching YouTube, to becoming YouTube creators, myself included. Shit, right? Cult of Dusty's fucking awesome too. It's like, but you know, I mean, then that's how it works, and it's like fucking. Hopefully, one day they can get unbanned, right? And you know, if you see this kind of thing happening, you know, just let them know that you're there for them. You know, you can join their Patreons, right? Even if you give a small amount, even if you give $5 a month, that helps, you know, because you get 1,000 people giving them $5 a month, and then they're okay, right? That's all it takes. It's not that, and that's not that many people, you know. For a guy like, you know, both of these guys have thousands of subscribers. It's like they don't need the money. I mean, the money that you get from YouTube is shitty anyway. It's not shitty for somebody like them who gets, you know, fucking 500,000 views on a video. It's great for them, but it's like you get more money. You can get way more money through other channels. You know, there's other ways around YouTube now. It's like YouTube killing your monetization isn't kill your channel anymore. You can go to, you know, GoFundMe, Patreon, shit like that. And if you like these guys, sign up, and hopefully they can keep making content, and then maybe one day YouTube will pull their head out their ass. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got, folks. Adios.